The episode opens with Markisha badly injured from last season's shooting. Meech starts building his Atlanta network with help from Greenie and faces instant beef with local gangster Remy Ranson. Meanwhile, T promises revenge, but his crew handles Saint before he can. Detective Bryant struggles to keep his son Kevin out of juvie while being suspended and investigated alongside Detective Jin. Jin gets a new partner, Kobe, and their investigation hits a wall when Markeisha refuses to talk. Back home, Lucille tells Charles she wants a divorce, while Terry brings Markeisha home, pushing LaWanda over the edge. Meech survives a shootout thanks to the Miami Killers and plans to team up with their leader to take down Remy. The episode ends with Detective Jin pocketing some drugs at a crime scene, and Terry's crew saluting him for handling Saint. T finally moves in with Markeisha, just for her to say it's not safe. Their Colombian plug Cena gets locked up after K9 snitches, and two shady Mexicans show up at the Flanoris crib looking for Meech. Meech and T put their heads together. They need a new plug. Detectives Jin and Amberson are still stuck on Saint's case. Meech explores new options in Atlanta while T meets a no-nonsense plug named Henrietta. T's not loving the price, but he plays along. Meech gets cozy with Angel. She plays hard to get until he saves her from a drunk at the strip club. Then she whispers the plug's name, Santiago, except it's a trap. Santiago's dead, but Loco's the real plug and gives Meech 250 keys. Back in Detroit, T ditches Henry. She kills Peaches, tells her she's out, and snatches her plug. Oh, and Bryant's begging dirty cops for help now. Meech kicks off the episode with a flashback bonding with Charles over music. In the present, he walks in on his trap house getting robbed. At the club, he checks Angel about the setup, while Grenny's still asking for money to clean. Meech spots some ballers and learns about the Jack the Rapper convention. T's business is crumbling. Henry's stealing clients, his crew's panicking, and Child Protection Services show up for TJ. Meech pawns some jewelry to get new work, but Stax isn't impressed and dips. Charles flies in to sign but flips out after learning Meech faked documents. In Detroit, a drug drop goes left. Jin takes a bullet and Bryant saves her. Henry suspects T snitched and wants revenge. At the convention, Meech links with some St. Louis plugs and even smokes a blunt with Tupac. But when a supposed record exec turns out to be a Miami killer, a full-on brawl breaks out. Charles even throws hands. T gets a new apartment to prove he's a fit dad, but Lucille hits him with a brutal reality check. Greenie gets jumped, Angel chooses Meech for now, and Bryant finds his son broken and silent. T tries recruiting him, but Bryant refuses. Meech heads to Detroit to handle Loco's shipment himself, since Loco doesn't trust T. Detective Bryant tries to pressure Jin, but she's not budging. Meech visits Zoe and TT, promising to protect them. At the gambling spot, T and Markeisha court a judge, but Henrietta crashes it and threatens T. Lucille starts warming up to Charles again. Meanwhile, Bryant and Henry plans to steal Meech's shipment. Jin and Kobe keep digging into the ambulance shooting. At the airport, Meech finds out the shipment's way bigger than expected and calls T to help move it fast. Bryant gets arrested, and they escape clean. The episode ends with Roland stepping away, T returning to Atlanta with Meech, and a shady call from Stax, who's secretly plotting with Glock to kill them both. Meech and T hit the club with Loco and BMF crew. Meech announces a St. Louis expansion and Loco's in, until Remy shows up and a brawl breaks out. Afterwards, they meet flashy boxer Mac Attack, but the moment's cut short when shots ring out. Diesel from Detroit is killed. Stax blames Remy and wants to slide on him. Meech insists they can't let it go. Bryant survives an ambush from Henry's goons. Meanwhile in Atlanta, Meech and T clash. Meech wants revenge, but T is focused on St. Louis. Meanwhile, Henry kills Chuck and puts a hit on Bryant and his son. Meech supports Rip's music dreams while T grows suspicious of Stax. Tina reveals it was Stax and the MKs behind the drive-by, not Remy. So Meech warns Remy and tries to make peace. But it's a setup. Stax and the MKs ambush everyone. Rip and a kid helping Remy are killed. Glock kills Stax, and just when things seem lost, Sterl and the PA boys pull up and save the day. Back home, everyone mourns Rip. Henrietta does a drive-by on Vin's house, killing Detective Kobe. Brian also finds out his son's dead. T heads back to Detroit, but Meech stays. His family's in Atlanta now. The episode opens with 3 funerals. One for Milton, a kid caught in the crossfire. Meech hosts a family dinner while scheming to flip Claude and take Remy out. T tries to make peace with Henry, but she's not budging. After getting fired, Bryant confronts Henry with a shotgun, but Blaze stops him. T tries for unity, even buys his crew Pistons jackets. Meech gets legal heat after Greeny snitches, so he lays low in St. Louis. The episode ends with Henrietta burning a traitor alive, proving the war is just getting started. In St. Louis, Meech teams up with Jay Pusha, whose little brother got kidnapped. When the kidnappers send Carter's finger, Meech offers to help with a trade, but Jay Pusha acts out and puts a hit out instead. Meech and T argue over Meech always jumping into others' messes. In Detroit, T tries to calm BMF after Henri burned Diz alive. Peace talks with Blaze fail when he won't check his daughter. Nicole gets caught with a knife at school and finally opens up about feeling invisible. Jen suspects her boss is dirty and teams back up with Brian to take down Blaze and Henrietta. Meech rescues Carter after tracking the kidnappers. Back in Atlanta, the legal case is dropped, but Glock has taken over. Meanwhile, T flips Henry's clients and is ready to rise. T learns Henrietta killed Peaches and owes money to the Chaldeans. Vince continues to harass T, hinting at IRS trouble. Meech realizes the feds are ramping up pressure, so he and Duffy talk strategy and plan a peaceful sit-down with Atlanta players to unite forces. Bryant's spiraling over Kevin's death. Jin convinces him to stay focused on Henrietta. At the Atlanta meeting, Remy crashes, kills Claude, and claims Techwood. T's pushing a lottery scam with Sam. Marquisha's all in. Glock orders a hit on Meech in front of Angel. T flips Henry's crew with better product. Bryant go full revenge mode, beats Tyson to death. Angel warns Meech that Glock has a hit out on him. Meech later survives an assassination attempt by Glock's man Chaka and kills him in self-defense. The episode ends with Meech and T planning a move to Miami. Meech and T are living it up in Miami until they spot Angel and the MKs at the club. They dip fast. T snaps at Meech for putting them in danger again, while Jin and Brian bug Henry's cane to get dirt. Angel warns Meech the MKs are close. A shootout breaks out, Glock gets hit, and BMF barely escapes. The episode ends with Henrietta killing Hoop and saying T is next. Then the Red Dogs pull over the crew and impound everything. Somebody snitched. Now Meech and T have to find the rat and their stash. After stealing BMF's stash, Remy acts like he's king now. Meanwhile, T hears Hoop got shot and flies back to Detroit, swearing to handle Henrietta himself. Detective Jin uncovers Amberson's double crossing while Henrietta tries to kill her. Bryant shoots Henry in the leg, but she still slips away. In Atlanta, Meech locks an expansion with Sharp while Froggy sells them out. A shootout at the warehouse erupts, but BMF escapes. Remy's furious. Henry spirals, kills her dad after he takes over her crew, but oops, the wire was live. She gets arrested using Kobe's cuffs. T sees it all and realizes he's better off behind the scenes. Remy tries to flex solo on Meech, gets embarrassed. Next thing we know, he's found dead in his car. Lucille and Charles finalize their divorce. T and LaWanda make peace. Hoop survives. Jin's off to LA, Bryant might be heading south. BMF toasts the Empire at the Platinum Palace. Then Javier shows up with bad news. Loco's locked in Mexico, so no supply. Next thing we know, Meech and T are deep in Mexico. No signal, no backup.